All right, good morning, everyone. My voice still hasn't recovered. Oh, all right, it is Saturday, February 18th. And yeah, it was a little bit of disappointment last night. Yeah, Black Bears fell to the Danbury referees 3-2. Um, but gotta say a couple things. First of all, got a nice signature here from Kochi. And I gotta say thank you to Justin. I know he and the other Black Bears really didn't feel like uh, coming out and skating with the fans, but they did anyway, signing autographs and whatnot. Total class organization. Thank you, Kochi. And thank you to the rest of the Black Bears for all you do for the community. And we appreciate it very much. Okay, so last night, in case you missed it, or you were not one of the fortunate ones that were able to be at the game, sellout crowd, 4893 was the announced attendance. And yeah, that's the first time I've been at the arena for a sellout game since 1992 when the Binghamton Rangers were in town. So uh, that was a lot of fun. It was great meeting a lot of you and talking with a lot of you. Those I didn't get to meet, especially on the south end of the building. I kept trying to get over there and just wasn't able to make it to that side of the arena after the start of the game. So, all right. So, yeah, it kind of felt like last night's game was, in a way, fake news. Final score 3-2 Danbury. Um, and as a lot of you were posting on Facebook, yeah, they scored the one goal legitimately. John McDonald, a shot from the point, which I still thought Marquezin got a tip in on it, but it is what it is. I had no problem with that goal. Um, Game started off great. Yatesy scoring on a power play from the right face-off circle. Beautiful wrister, high glove side. Um, that was I was like right on top of that. So that was beautiful to see. Um, Amesbury, yeah, well, yeah, it was a beautiful shot, but it's really, really easy to score when Michael Falange is busy playing footsie with Taylor Joseph in the crease. Um, so a lot of Danbury fans have contacted me. Said, "Oh no, the contact was after the fact." I've looked at the replays. I don't see it. So um, it was a nice shot by Amesbury, but again, I haven't played hockey in over 30 years. I probably could have scored on that shot, and that's not taking anything away from Amesbury. It's just, yeah, Joseph was tied up. Um, Second period, Mathieu Boilard scored from the exact same spot that Yates scored, so and beating Wilson the same place. So yeah, it was great. Um, Anyway, you had the McDonald goal, no problem. Although the real fun was at the 7:13 mark of the second period. Of course, a lot of you saw that Tobias Ajic and Mac Lewis got into a scrap. Didn't go so well for Lewis, but nonetheless. So I got the full story of what happened because a lot of you know, okay, both coaches were thrown out of the game. What happened? Okay, so the fight occurs, and the players, go to the locker room. Apparently, I missed this part. Um, Danbury coach Bill McCreary gave the signal directed at Mac Lewis. And okay, tangent, a little bunny trail, no pun intended. Okay, you're a coach. You're not a player. You're a coach. Um, you don't do that. You don't throw taunting gestures toward the opposing team. Um, John Tortorella, as goofy as a coach as he is, um, he doesn't do that. He makes a lot of noise and yells at the refs a lot. And I mean, most coaches do. So anyway, so the signal was given, and Binghamton bench didn't like that. So Coach Sherwood starts speaking his mind over the glass to Bill. Bill starts going back and forth. So yeah, the two coaches are now jawing at each other. So, new thing that I learned last night, I had no idea that there were little doggy doors behind the bench. So yeah, so I see the jawing, and then I see McCreary duck into the doggy door, goofy hat and all, and Sherwood followed suit. And apparently, they were standing nose to nose underneath Section 15, going at it. Um, I wish I was over there. Aaron, you'll have to let me know if you heard anything, because I've never seen anything like that before. So yeah, somebody made use of the doggy doors. So yeah, that earned both coaches the game misconduct, and that was that. And of course, at the end, there was at about the 1902 mark, there was the blatant hold of Kirkby over on the opposite side of the ice on the west side, down by Wilson, which turned into a rush, which turned into a power play, which turned into um, the Benedict high sticking Thompson in the face in the action of trying to redirect the puck on a tip, which he did. Now, by definition, the stick was not above the crossbar. So if he hadn't made contact with Thompson, I'd say, okay, unfortunate, but a good goal. But it was a high stick. It was a penalty. Should have been called. Since he committed a penalty, the goal should have been disallowed. He should have been sitting in the box for the remaining 4 seconds of the third period and the start of overtime. So that was frustrating. So, both Joe Testa and Bill Bird just blew calls. Joe was definitely the worst. There were about 5 different penalties that he missed. There was a sixth because there was I forget which penalty it was specifically, but it was one of the penalties that Danbury got called for the high stick. And in the second period, Bill Bird, he's 120 feet away. He was the one that made the call. And Joe Testa just looked clueless out there, absolutely clueless. But again, had a ton of fun, and I hope to get a chance to get back up again soon for another game and meet with some more of you. I very much appreciate all the support and appreciation that you have for this podcast and these videos. So anyway, elsewhere in the league last night, it was the night of the goalies. Oh, and that's the other thing I have to say about the game last night. Both goalies played very, very well. Both Wilson and Joseph. Joseph just really struck me as completely poised, um, with the one exception being when he got called for the penalty for getting in Amesbury's face because Amesbury had delivered the cross check. Um, which, no, not a blatant nasty penalty, and Amesbury should have gone off for the two. But Joseph getting in his face and starting a little fracas. That was impressive. But otherwise, he just looked totally poised, very solid. And he and McVeigh are going to be a wonderful tandem for the remainder of the season. Yeah, McVeigh was out. He's got some kind of stomach bug, from what I understand, and it's something he's having a hard time shaking. So that's why he was not dressed for last night. The other curious thing was uh, Giselle being out. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in tomorrow's podcast and video. So, because there's a little bit of a story, or potentially a story, some things that I've heard. Anyway, elsewhere, yeah, Night of the Goalies. First, Watertown falls to Elmira 4-1 as Thomas Proudlock stopped 49 of 50 shots from Watertown. Moscow scored, but that was it. Motor City shut out Port Huron 5-0. That was kind of a surprise because Motor City had really been kind of falling lately. So Blake Scott makes 34-34. And if I remember correctly, Babin's suspension ended with last night's absence. So I believe Babin's going to be back in the lineup tonight. Carolina, wow. Mississippi was up 4-1 on Carolina. And that included a natural hat trick from Yaromir Yevdokimov. Also added a fourth in the period. But Carolina came storming back and ended up taking that game 6-4. Carolina continues their really impressive stretch of games. So it'll be very curious to see what they're like when they come into town next weekend. And the big shocker of the night, Delaware has a 3-game winning streak. That includes 2 regulation wins and last night's shootout win against the Columbus River Dragons, 4-3. There's a final. And there's another amazing goalie performance as Trevor Martin stopped 55 of 58 shots throughout the game, plus all 4 shots that he faced in the shootout. So it was only 1 shot that the Thunder needed, and they got it. And they are now on a 3-game winning streak. Strange things in the Fed. All right, so tonight we're playing at Elmira. 6:35 is puck drop. Danbury is also taking on Watertown, and Delaware is playing the second game in Columbus, already having taken a couple points. So very impressive night. So again, thank you so much for all your support and your viewership and your listenership to the podcast. I deeply appreciate it. Hope to get up to another game sooner rather than later. But had a blast with y'all. Just wish we had won, but we'll get that next time. We'll work on that. All right, take care. Remember to hit like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and remember that the This Week with the Black Bears Weekend Edition podcast will be tomorrow. Be posting that in the early afternoon. All right, this is Gary Ryan for the This Week Daily. Take care, y'all. Have a wonderful day.